The massive alien warship glided silently through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Its sleek purple hull reflected the distant sunlight as smaller scout ships darted around it like faithful dogs around their master. Admiral Reed stood on the bridge of his flagship, his four eyes fixed on the main display screen. His fleet had been searching this sector for 3 days, following strange energy readings that didn't match any known signatures. "Admiral," called out his sensor officer, "we're picking up something large about 30,000 kilometers ahead. It's partially hidden behind a cluster of asteroids." Reed moved closer to the screen, his long fingers touching the control panel to enhance the image. "Show me," he commanded. The screen zoomed in, revealing what appeared to be a massive ship drifting lifelessly in space. Its dark gray hull was scarred and pitted, bearing the marks of what must have been an intense battle. "Scan it," Reed ordered. His crew quickly went to work, their instruments probing the mysterious vessel. The ship was huge, nearly 2 kilometers long, with a design unlike anything in their database. Through the damage and debris, they could barely make out some writing on the hull. "HMS Thunderchild." "It's human," Reed said, his voice filled with surprise and excitement. The Stellar Confederation had been fighting these primitives for the past 5 years, slowly pushing them back toward their homeworld. But this was different. This ship was far larger than any human vessel they had encountered before. "Life signs?" Reed asked. "None detected, Admiral. No power readings either. The ship appears to be completely dead." Reed smiled, showing his pointed teeth. This was an opportunity he couldn't ignore. Human technology, while primitive compared to the Confederation's, had shown surprising effectiveness in battle. A chance to study one of their largest warships up close was too valuable to pass up. "Bring us alongside," he commanded. "Prepare boarding parties. I want every inch of that vessel examined." As his fleet moved into position around the derelict human ship, Reed couldn't help but feel proud. His superiors would be pleased with this discovery. Perhaps they would even find something useful to help them in their final push toward Earth. The first boarding shuttles launched from his ship, carrying teams of engineers and soldiers. Reed watched them approach the Thunderchild, noting how small they looked next to its enormous hull. The human vessel's design was strange, blocky and practical rather than elegant like Confederation ships. Its weapon ports were huge, suggesting it carried armaments far larger than anything they had seen humans use before. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "the first boarding team has reached the hull. They're cutting their way in through what appears to be an auxiliary airlock." Reed nodded, continuing to study the vessel. Something about it bothered him, but he couldn't quite place what. The damage patterns, perhaps. They seemed too perfect, somehow, as if they had been. He shook his head, dismissing the thought. Humans were clever, yes, but they were still primitive. Their ship's eyes were basic, their weapons unrefined, their tactics straightforward. This was simply a damaged vessel, probably abandoned after some desperate battle. "Team 1 has entered the vessel," the comm officer reported. "They report the interior is dark and cold. No atmosphere. They're proceeding toward what appears to be a command center." More boarding shuttles attached themselves to the Thunderchild's hull like remoras on a shark. Reed ordered his fleet to spread out, maintaining a loose formation around the derelict. Standard procedure when investigating an unknown vessel, even a seemingly dead one. Hours passed as the boarding teams worked their way through the massive ship. Their reports painted a picture of an advanced but abandoned vessel. The corridors were empty, the rooms silent. They found crew quarters with personal items left behind, a massive engine room with strange technology they didn't recognize, and weapon systems that seemed far too large for a species at humanity's level of development. "Admiral," one of the engineering teams reported, "we've located what appears to be the main computer core. It's unlike anything we've seen in human ships before. The system appears to be completely powered down, but the hardware, it's far more sophisticated than expected." "Can you access it?" Reed asked. "We're working on it now, sir." The security systems are inactive, but the architecture is complex. It may take some time to. The engineer's voice cut off suddenly. Reed straightened in his command chair. "Report," he demanded. "What's happening?" Static filled the channel for a moment before the engineer's voice returned. "Sorry, sir. Just a temporary communication issue. We're about to begin accessing the main systems. There's something odd about the power distribution network, though. It seems to be routing through a section of the ship we haven't been able to locate yet." Reed frowned. His instincts, honed over decades of military service, were screaming at him now. Something wasn't right. The ship was too perfect to find, too conveniently placed in their path to Earth. The damage was too precise, the systems too advanced. "Pull the boarding teams back," he started to say, but it was too late. Deep within the Thunderchild, in a heavily shielded chamber that had been deliberately hidden from scans, emergency power systems that had been quietly maintaining minimal life support for years kicked into high gear. Cryopods began their revival sequences as dormant systems suddenly surged to life. In the ship's computer core, the engineering team watched in horror as dead displays suddenly lit up with a soft blue glow. A gentle female voice echoed through the empty corridors. "Primary systems restart initiated. Welcome back, Captain Walker." Reed stood up so quickly his command chair toppled backward. "All ships, battle stations. This is not a derelict, it's a..." Before he could finish, the Thunderchild's hull began to glow with power. What they had thought were battle scars suddenly shifted, revealing carefully disguised weapon ports. The massive ship that had appeared dead and broken now hummed with energy, its systems coming online with practiced precision. The last thing Admiral Reed saw before his sensors overloaded was a message broadcasting on all frequencies. "This is Captain James Walker of the HMS Thunderchild. To all Confederation vessels, thank you for falling into our trap. Now, allow us to demonstrate why you should never have underestimated humanity." The battle was about to begin, and the alien fleet would soon learn that they had not found a wreck. They had awakened a giant. Captain James Walker opened his eyes slowly, his mind fighting through the fog of cryosleep. The pod's cover slid away with a soft hiss, and warm air rushed in to replace the cold. His muscles ached as he took his first real breath in what felt like forever. The medical readout above his pod showed that everything had gone according to plan. 5 years of frozen sleep, waiting for this exact moment. "Welcome back, Captain," Mary's familiar voice came through the speakers. "The alien fleet has taken the bait. 57 enemy vessels currently surround us, including their flagship. All hands are awakening on schedule." Walker pushed himself up, grabbing the handrail next to his pod. Around him, 49 other cryopods were opening, revealing his carefully chosen crew. They were the best Earth had to offer, volunteers who had agreed to sleep for years, waiting for this chance to turn the tide of the war. "Status report," he ordered, his voice rough from disuse. "The enemy boarding parties have spread throughout the ship exactly as predicted," Mary replied. "They're currently attempting to access my core systems through the dummy interface we prepared. The real computer core remains secure and undetected." Walker nodded, making his way to the medical station where tubes of restoration fluid waited. He drank one quickly, feeling strength return to his limbs. The taste was awful, but it would help his body recover from the long sleep. Around him, his crew was doing the same. "How long until they realize what's happening?" he asked. "Approximately 3 minutes until my systems come fully online. The enemy admiral has just ordered his boarding parties to retreat. He suspects something, but it's too late." Walker smiled. Everything was going exactly as planned. 5 years ago, when the aliens had first attacked Earth, humanity had been caught off guard. The Stellar Confederation had expected an easy victory over what they considered a primitive species. Instead, they found themselves in a brutal war against an enemy that refused to give up. "Engineering team, report," Walker called out as he made his way to the bridge. His walk was steady now, the restoration fluid doing its job. "All systems green. Captain, Chief Engineer Thompson responded, her voice strong despite just waking up. The quantum cascade reactor is spinning up. Power readings are optimal. Weapon systems are charging. Walker reached the bridge, dropping into his command chair. The displays around him lit up, showing the positions of the alien ships. They had surrounded the Thunderchild completely, just as Earth's strategists had predicted they would when finding what appeared to be a dead human dreadnought. "Mary, begin power-up sequence for the Graviton Lance," he ordered. "And show me the enemy admiral's face. I want to see his reaction." The main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of the alien flagship. Admiral Reed was shouting orders, his 4 eyes wide with alarm as his sensors detected the Thunderchild's awakening systems. Walker pressed a button on his chair, opening a channel. "Admiral Reed," he said calmly, "I must thank you for making this so easy. Your arrogance in assuming we were just another broken human vessel has given us exactly the opportunity we needed." The alien admiral's face twisted with rage. "You think you can defeat an entire fleet with one ship? Even if it's a trap, you're still outnumbered 50-1. Walker laughed, and he could see how the sound unsettled the alien commander. "Admiral, did you ever wonder why you found so few of our large warships during your invasion? Did you think we simply didn't build them?" On his tactical display, Walker could see the alien fleet starting to move, trying to spread out to minimize the damage from any attack. But they were too close, too tightly packed around the Thunderchild. Just as planned. "The truth is, Admiral, that humanity knew we couldn't match your numbers. We couldn't build enough ships to fight you in traditional battle. So we built something different. The Thunderchild isn't just a warship. It's a prototype, the first and only of its kind. We filled it with technology we developed specifically to fight your kind of fleet." The alien ships were firing now, their energy weapons splashing against the Thunderchild's hull. But the damage was minimal. The ship's outer layer had been specifically designed to absorb energy weapons, using their power to help charge its own systems. "Graviton Lance at 60% charge," Mary reported. "Hull integrity at 98%. Enemy weapons are ineffective against our new armor design." Walker watched as understanding and fear spread across Admiral Reed's face. The alien commander finally realized that his fleet hadn't trapped a derelict human vessel. They had been drawn into carefully laid trap. "All hands, battle stations," Walker commanded. Around him, his crew worked with practiced efficiency, each member knowing exactly what to do. They had trained for years before entering cryosleep, preparing for this exact moment. "Sir," the tactical officer called out, "enemy ships are launching fighters. They're trying to overwhelm our defenses with small craft." "Activate the point defense grid," Walker ordered. "Mary, show them what you can do." Hundreds of small weapon ports opened along the Thunderchild's hull. But instead of traditional guns, they revealed something new: microgravity projectors. The approaching enemy fighters suddenly found themselves caught in conflicting gravity fields, their ships torn apart by forces they couldn't escape. "Graviton Lance at 90%, Mary reported. "Ready to fire on your command." Walker stood up from his chair, facing the screen where Admiral Reed watched in horror as his fighters were destroyed. "You know, Admiral, there's something you should understand about humans. We don't just build weapons. We innovate. We adapt. Every time you thought you had us beaten, we were learning, developing new ways to fight you." The Thunderchild's hull began to glow with power as the quantum cascade reactor reached full output. Energy readings that the alien sensors couldn't even properly measure poured from the massive ship. "The Thunderchild isn't just a ship," Walker continued. "It's humanity's answer to your entire way of warfare. You rely on numbers, on overwhelming force. We built a ship that could turn that against you. And now, Admiral, I'm going to show you exactly what that means." "Graviton Lance at full power," Mary announced. "Target locked on enemy flagship." Walker sat back down in his command chair, his voice calm and steady. "Fire." The front of the Thunderchild split open, revealing a weapon unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. A beam of concentrated gravitational force lanced out, cutting through space itself. When it struck the alien flagship, the ship didn't explode. It imploded, crushed into a point smaller than a marble by forces it was never designed to resist. As alarms blared across the alien fleet and panic spread through their ranks, Walker opened a channel to all ships. "This is Captain James Walker of the HMS Thunderchild. That was a warning shot. Surrender now, or find out what this ship can really do when we stop holding back." The battle for Earth's survival had just entered a new phase, and humanity finally had the upper hand. The remains of Admiral Reed's flagship drifted through space, crushed into a ball no bigger than a human fist. For a moment, absolute silence filled the command channels of the alien fleet. None of them had ever seen a weapon capable of such destruction. The Thunderchild hung in space among them, its hull glowing with power, waiting. Second wave of enemy ships approaching from the outer system, Mary announced on the Thunderchild's bridge. "They're moving to support the remaining fleet. Estimate 8 minutes until they enter weapons range." Walker watched the tactical display as the alien ships began to regroup. They were spreading out now, trying to maintain distance from each other, so one shot couldn't take out multiple vessels. It was a smart move, but too late. The Thunderchild already had them exactly where it needed them. "Status of the boarding parties?" Walker asked, his eyes fixed on the screen. 23 alien soldiers remain aboard," Mary replied. "They're trapped in sections C through F. Emergency bulkheads are holding them in place." Walker nodded. "Send in the combat drones. No survivors. We can't let them report anything they've seen of our internal systems." Throughout the Thunderchild's corridors, panels slid open and small, spherical robots emerged. They moved silently through the ship's halls, hunting down the trapped alien boarders. The drones were another innovation, designed specifically to fight in the ship's tight spaces. On the main screen, the alien fleet's new commander opened a channel. His uniform showed the rank of Vice Admiral, and his 4 eyes blazed with fury. "This is Vice Admiral Thex of the Stellar Confederation," he announced. "Your weapon is impressive, human, but you're still one ship against a fleet. Surrender now, and we'll make your death quick." Walker smiled, remembering the briefings from 5 years ago. The aliens always followed the same patterns. When faced with an unexpected threat, they relied on overwhelming force. It made them predictable. "Mary," he said quietly, "initiate Phase 2. Throughout the Thunderchild, hidden systems began to activate. The ship's outer hull, designed to look like battle-scarred armor, started to shift. Plates moved and reformed, revealing rows of what looked like mirrors along the ship's length. "What are you doing?" Vice Admiral Thex demanded, his confidence wavering as his sensors detected the change. "Teaching you a lesson about human ingenuity," Walker replied. "You see, the graviton lance isn't our only weapon. While we slept, waiting for you to take our bait, we had plenty of time to prepare other surprises." The mirror-like panels along the Thunderchild's hull began to glow. They were quantum reflection arrays, designed to capture and redirect energy weapons. 5 years of studying alien combat tactics had taught humanity how heavily the Confederation relied on energy-based weapons. Several alien ships opened fire, their energy beams streaking toward the Thunderchild. But instead of impacting the hull, the beams hit the reflection arrays and bounced back, amplified by the ship's quantum cascade reactor. The alien vessels were struck by their own weapons, now powerful enough to pierce their shields. "Chief Thompson," Walker called to engineering, "how's our power looking?" "Quantum cascade reactor is performing above expectations, Captain," she replied. "The energy we're absorbing from their attacks is actually helping to charge our systems faster than predicted. We could fire the graviton lance again in less than 2 minutes." The alien fleet was in chaos now. Their standard tactics were worse than useless. Every attack they launched was being turned against them. The Thunderchild moved through their formation like a shark through a school of fish, its reflected weapons cutting through ship after ship. "Sir," the tactical officer reported, "the second wave is adjusting course. They're trying to surround us in a sphere formation." Walker nodded. "Just as the strategists predicted. Mary, prepare for maneuver Delta 7. The Thunder Child's engines flared to life. The massive ship began to spin slowly, its reflection arrays creating a web of deadly energy as they caught and redirected the continuous alien fire. The maneuver looked strange, almost like a dance, but it had been carefully calculated during those long years of planning. "Graviton Lance charged to full power," Mary announced. "Ready to fire on your command." The alien fleet's sphere formation was almost complete now. They thought they had the advantage, being able to hit the Thunder Child from all angles. They didn't understand that they were just making things easier. "Vice Admiral," Walker opened the channel again, "I'm going to show you something interesting. You see, when we designed the Graviton Lance, we made some modifications to the quantum cascade reactor. It lets us do this." Walker pressed a button on his chair. "Mary, initiate Graviton Cascade." The Thunder Child spinning stopped suddenly. Energy surged through the ship as the Graviton Lance activated. But this time, instead of firing a single beam, the weapon's energy was fed through the reflection arrays. Dozens of gravitational beams shot out in all directions, each one finding a target in the alien sphere formation. Ships imploded one after another, crushed by forces they couldn't comprehend. The carefully planned sphere formation became their death trap, ensuring that no ship was far enough away to escape the Graviton Cascade's reach. "Second wave is retreating," the tactical officer reported, a note of triumph in his voice. "They're breaking formation and running." Walker stood up from his chair, watching the tactical display as the remaining alien ships fled. Of the original 57 vessels that had surrounded the Thunder Child, only 12 remained, all of them now running at maximum speed. "Let them go," Walker ordered. "They'll spread the word. Humanity is no longer the easy target they thought we were." He turned to his crew, seeing the pride on their faces. They had trained for years, gone into cryosleep not knowing if they would ever wake up, all for this moment. The Thunder Child had proven itself more than just a ship. It was humanity's declaration that they would not be conquered. "Mary," Walker said, "send the signal to Earth. Operation Thunderstrike is a success. The path is clear for Phase 3. As the message was sent, Walker looked out at the debris field that had once been a mighty alien fleet. Somewhere out there, he knew, more human ships were waiting in similar traps, ready to wake up and strike. The war wasn't over, but today, humanity had shown the galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with. The Thunder Child's engines powered up, ready to move to its next target. There were more alien fleets to surprise, more battles to win. And now they had proved that a single human ship, built with determination and ingenuity, could change the course of a war. 3 days after the battle, the Thunder Child moved silently through the darkness of space. The mighty ship's hull still bore the fake battle scars that had fooled the alien fleet, but now they were joined by a few real ones, marks of honor from their first major victory. Inside the bridge, Captain Walker studied the latest tactical updates from Earth Command. "Mary, show me the fleet movements again," he said, rubbing his tired eyes. The AI obliged, displaying a holographic map of the solar system. Dozens of red dots showed the positions of known alien fleets, most of them now pulling back toward the outer planets. "The Confederation is responding exactly as predicted," Mary reported. "After our attack, they've ordered all forward fleets to fall back and regroup. They're afraid of running into more ships like us." Walker smiled. The Thunder Child hadn't just won a battle. It had shaken the aliens' confidence. For the first time since the war began, the mighty Stellar Confederation was afraid. "Captain," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving a priority message from Earth. It's Admiral Jones." The main screen lit up, showing the face of humanity's supreme commander. Despite the serious situation, Jones was smiling. "Captain Walker, Congratulations on your successful first strike. The Thunderchild performed even better than we hoped. Thank you, sir, Walker replied. The crew performed excellently. What's our next target? That's why I'm calling, Jones said, his expression becoming serious. Our long-range sensors have detected something big. The Confederation is bringing in their heaviest ship, the World Breaker. Walker's blood ran cold. Everyone knew about the World Breaker. It was the aliens' most powerful vessel, a monster of a ship that could crack planets in half. Until now, they'd kept it in reserve, thinking Earth wasn't worth the effort. They're scared, Jones continued. Your victory showed them we're more dangerous than they thought. Now they're bringing out their biggest gun to try and end this quickly. Where is it headed? Walker asked, though he already knew the answer. Earth, Jones confirmed. They want to end the war with one shot. But that's where Phase 3 comes in. Remember those other ships we mentioned? The tactical display change, showing new points of light throughout the solar system. Green dots began to appear, each one representing another ship like the Thunderchild. Operation Thunderstrike wasn't just about your ship, Captain, Jones explained. While you were sleeping, waiting to spring your trap, we built more. 7 more Dreadnoughts, each with their own special modifications. We called them the Thunder Legion. Walker leaned forward, studying the positions of the other ships. They were all waiting in ambush, just like us. Exactly. The sleeping giants, we called them. Each one was placed along the likely invasion routes to Earth. When you sent the success signal, they all began waking up. The Thunderchild was just the first to strike. The bridge crew watched in amazement as more reports came in. The Thunder Legion was awakening, each ship revealing itself by destroying nearby alien fleets. The Confederation forces were being caught between multiple hammers, their careful invasion plans thrown into chaos. But the World Breaker is still coming, Walker said, focusing on the massive red dot moving toward Earth. Even with 8 ships like the Thunderchild, can we stop something that big? Jones nodded. That's why we made each ship different. The Thunderchild has the Graviton Lance. The others each have their own unique weapons. And together, he smiled. Together, they form something even more powerful. Sir, Walker asked, not understanding. Captain, your ship isn't just called the Thunderchild because it sounds impressive. Each ship in the Thunder Legion was built to be part of something bigger. When all 8 ships come together, they can combine their quantum cascade reactors. The power output would be enormous. Chief Thompson interrupted from her engineering station. Sir, are you saying these ships were designed to work together? Exactly, Jones confirmed. The Thunderchild's Graviton Lance, combined with the plasma forge of the Thunderheart, the quantum dissembler of the Thunder Fist, and the other weapons, together they can create something powerful enough to take down even the World Breaker. Walker stood up, his mind racing with the possibilities. So that's Phase 3. Bring the Legion together and hit them with everything we've got. You have 4 days before the World Breaker reaches Earth, Jones said. I'm sending the rendezvous coordinates now. The other ships are already heading there. Captain Walker, humanity is counting on you. End this war. The screen went dark, leaving the bridge in silence. Walker turned to his crew, seeing the determination in their faces. They had slept for 5 years, waiting for their chance to strike. Now they had an even bigger mission. Mary, he ordered, plot a course to the rendezvous point. Maximum speed. Course plotted, the AI responded. But Captain, I should warn you. Several alien fleets stand between us and the meeting point. They're trying to block us from reaching Earth. Walker sat back in his command chair, a confident smile on his face. Then we'll just have to show them why they should get out of our way. All hands, battle stations. The Thunderchild still has some lessons to teach about human determination. The massive ship's engines flared to life, pushing it forward into the darkness of space. Ahead lay more battles, more chances to show the aliens why they should never have underestimated humanity. And somewhere out there, 6 other ships, just like the Thunderchild, were heading toward the same point, ready to join together into something unprecedented. The war was about to enter its final phase, and the Thunder Legion was ready to strike. The World Breaker was coming, but it would find more than just a helpless planet waiting for it. It would find humanity's answer to overwhelming force, innovation, determination, and the combined power of the greatest ships Earth had ever built. In the space between Mars and Earth, 8 massive ships gathered. The Thunderchild had arrived first, followed quickly by its sisters, Thunderheart, Thunderfist, Thundershield, Thunderspear, Thunderstorm, Thunderrage, and Thundercrown. Together they formed a ring in space, each ship nearly identical in size, but bearing different weapons and modifications. All ships reporting ready, Captain, Mary announced on the Thunderchild's bridge. The Thunder Legion is complete. Walker looked at the tactical display showing the approaching World Breaker. The alien superweapon was massive, easily 3 times the size of any Thunder Legion ship. Its black hull seemed to swallow the light from nearby stars, and its weapons were powerful enough to destroy planets. All Legion captains, report in, Walker ordered. One by one, the commanders of each ship confirmed their readiness. They had all slept for years, just like Walker's crew, waiting for this moment. The World Breaker will be in range in 10 minutes, reported Thunderstorm's captain. Our long-range scans show it's charging its main weapon. They're planning to hit Earth from here. Walker nodded grimly. They want to end the war with one shot. But that's not going to happen. Mary, begin the combination sequence. Throughout all 8 ships, quantum cascade reactors began to power up. The ship's hulls started to glow with energy as they moved closer together, forming a perfect octagon in space. Beams of pure energy connected each vessel to its neighbors, creating a web of power. Warning, Mary announced. Enemy fleet approaching with the World Breaker. Reading over 200 support ships. The tactical display filled with red dots as the alien armada appeared. They had brought everything they had, determined to protect their superweapon until it could destroy Earth. The World Breaker itself was at the center of their formation, its main cannon beginning to glow with destructive energy. Legion captains, Walker called out. Activate your special weapons. Let's show them what humanity can really do. Each ship in the Thunder Legion had been built differently. The Thunderheart's plasma forge came online, creating artificial stars between the ships. Thunderfist's quantum dissembler began breaking down the very fabric of space. Thundershield generated massive energy barriers, while Thunderspear prepared its relativistic missiles. Multiple enemy ships launching fighters, Mary reported. They're trying to disrupt our formation. Not today, Walker replied. Thunderstorm, Thunderrage. Show them why that's a bad idea. 2 of the Legion ships broke formation slightly, their specialized weapons coming online. Thunderstorm released clouds of self-replicating nanites that consumed enemy fighters, while Thunderrage unleashed electromagnetic pulses that fried their systems. The World Breaker's main cannon was almost fully charged now. Its energy readings were off the charts, powerful enough to crack Earth in half. But the Thunder Legion was ready. All ships, complete the link, Walker ordered. Mary, initiate Thunder Protocol. Energy surged between the 8 ships, their quantum cascade reactors synchronizing perfectly. The space within their octagon formation began to distort as their combined power created something new, a weapon born from the combined genius of humanity's best scientists. World Breaker is firing, someone shouted. The alien superweapon's main cannon unleashed its planet-killing beam. But it never reached its target. Thundershield's barriers caught the blast, channeling its energy into the Legion's combined systems. The other alien ships opened fire too, their weapons uselessly splashing against the Legion's defenses. Return fire, Walker commanded. All ships, full power. The Thunder Legion responded as one. 8 different weapons, all designed to work together, activated simultaneously. The Graviton Lance combined with the Plasma Forge, creating a stream of artificial gravity waves that twisted space itself. The quantum dissembler added its power, breaking down matter at the subatomic level. Thunder Spear's relativistic missiles opened temporary wormholes in the fabric of reality. The combined blast hit the world breaker head-on. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the alien superweapon began to crack. Its mighty hull, designed to withstand the forces of planetary destruction, couldn't handle the combined power of 8 human dreadnoughts working in perfect harmony. "Keep firing," Walker ordered as the world breaker began to break apart. "Don't let up." The alien support fleet tried to intervene, but they were caught in the crossfire. Ships were crushed by artificial gravity, torn apart by quantum forces, or consumed by nanite storms. The world breaker itself was coming apart piece by piece, its own power turning against it as the Thunder Legion's attack continued. With a final surge of energy, the 8 ships gave everything they had. The world breaker's hull finally shattered completely, its remnants crushed into cosmic dust by forces beyond even its designer's nightmares. "World breaker destroyed," Mary announced, an unusual note of satisfaction in her AI voice. "Enemy fleet is in full retreat." The bridge crew cheered, but Walker wasn't done yet. He opened a channel to all remaining alien ships. "This is Captain Walker of the Thunder Legion to all Confederation forces. Your superweapon is destroyed. Your fleets are broken. But we're not finished yet." He gestured to Mary, who began transmitting data to the alien ships. "What you're receiving now is proof that we have more ships like these, more Thunder Legions, sleeping and waiting throughout the solar system. Earth is not your prey. We are not your victims. This is your only warning. Leave our space, or face extinction." It wasn't entirely true. The Thunder Legion was unique, a miracle of engineering that had taken everything humanity had to build. But the aliens didn't know that. All they knew was that 8 ships had just destroyed their mightiest weapon, and there might be more waiting in ambush. The alien fleet didn't wait for a second warning. Ships vanished into faster-than-light travel, running for the safety of their own space. In less than 5 minutes, the entire armada was gone. "Message from Earth Command," Mary reported. "Admiral Jones sends his congratulations. The Confederation's government is requesting immediate peace talks." Walker sat back in his chair, finally allowing himself to relax. "Send word to all Legion ships. Well done, everyone. We can head home now." As the Thunder Legion began its victory flight back to Earth, Walker looked at his crew. They had slept for 5 years, fought impossible battles, and changed the course of the war. Humanity had proved that innovation and determination could overcome any odds. "Mary," he said quietly, "send a message to all ships. The thunder has rolled. Let's go home." The 8 mighty vessels moved through space in formation, their hulls still glowing with power. Behind them lay the scattered remains of the world breaker, a testament to what humanity could achieve when pushed too far. Ahead lay Earth, safe now from alien threats, protected by its greatest achievement, the ships that had brought thunder to the stars.